Ciao jewelry making friends, my name is joeebalestrieri. Welcome to my work table. I am back working with two of the subscriptions that I get every month, and they are from the Dollar Bead Club. So I get both of them. I get the Dollar Bead box and I get the Dollar Bead bag. And the Dollar Bead bag is only $8 a month, and you get 3mm and 4mm strands of fire polish check glass faceted round beads. I can't talk this morning. And what happened to me is that I have started to make this necklace that is multi-strand because I was so in love with the color palette of this month's box. I mean, it is just ethereal and just absolutely lovely. And I just thought what a statement they make all together. So my intention is to make a multi-strand necklace that is a mix of this and chain and maybe some seed beads. But what happened to me is I started to do this necklace, but these beautiful arabesque beads and these check glass pearls came with my two subscriptions. These items were in the Dollar Bead box, and I started to make earrings that would coordinate with my necklace. And that triggered like all this creativity. As I started making earrings, I went into my stash and did all of these with items from my bead boxes this month and my stash. And if you haven't been on my channel before, you'll notice that none of these earrings have ear wires, only one pair does. And that's because I love my gold filled lever back interchangeable ear wires. I'm putting high quality metal in my ears. And then when I get my boxes and my beads coming every month, as I make my earrings and my drops, I don't need an ear wire every single time. They're really easy to change out like that. You just put your drop on, put it in your ear, snap it closed. They're easy to take on and off. And I have given these to all my friends, my sister-in-law, so I can make drops as my bead boxes come in that I know my different friends will like, and pass them on. And we can even exchange if we get tired of something. We can say, oh, do you want these? You know, it's just a great way for jewelry makers to make earrings. So I'm telling you all of that because I ended up doing this earring video when I was starting this. And so I'm going to set these aside. I can link that video if you have not seen it. But that's these earrings from the Dollar Bead box this month are what started all of these designs. So I'm going to set my beautiful earrings aside, and I'm back to the necklace now. So as I said, I'll link the earring video if you're interested in seeing my exotic earring designs, and I'm back to doing this. So what my plan is to have a 5-strand necklace, and I'm going to make my strands here as long as they were. So these beautiful let's see, these are, let me tell you which ones. These are the 4mm strands that I plan to use, and there's more in this subscription box. I absolutely love the Dollar Bead Club. I have an order coming from their website on check glass buttons. They recently had a promotion on them, and it's one of my favorite things to buy on the website, but you do have to be a member to shop the website. So you can either subscribe to the Dollar Bead box or the Dollar Bead bag, or both, as I do. And that makes you a member, and you can shop the website. All the items are $1. A few things are more, like some of the vintage check glass buttons can be $2 or $3, but you can go get all the strands you want for $1 a strand. And if you're not interested in another subscription box, you can pay like a price club, like an annual fee, and then you're a member, and then you can shop as much as you want for $1 an item. So I really love this company. It's a great resource for jewelry people. So what I have done is taken the 3mm strands, and I'm going to combine these because these 3mm strands are not quite as long in length. I believe you get the same number of pieces, the same number of beads, but because they're smaller, you don't get as many. But I want my collection here to be kind of a mix. I may even braid this once I get them strung. I just think that is such a pretty color palette. It's just so serene and soothing. So that's going to be 4 of my strands, and my 5th strand is going to be a combination of these 3mm beads. So I have to just cut these open and get the beads out here on my mat. and do a lot of stringing, and I'm going to do most of that off camera. And let me just show you, this is my first little cut strand. Let me just show you what I'm going to be using. I have here 5 strands, and I know it's probably almost impossible for you to see, but I have 5 strands here of a wildfire type stringing material like bead weavers would use, because I want this to be really fluid and flowing and a lot of movement and just like softly draping, which I was thinking with normal bead stringing wire like my 49 strand that I normally use, I might not get that. So with this, you can put a needle on the end to string, but you don't have to. I know that I can, you know, I might even go get a needle as I start stringing, but it's really easy to get the beads on it. And the crazy thing is, I have a design idea for attaching all of this cluster to these beautiful gold-plated bead caps. And instead of using a wire guard, I decided I wanted to try to make a loop with seed beads, and look at that. I got all 5 strands through an 11-0 seed bead. So if you're thinking, this girl is crazy, I will never do that. It was not that difficult, and I only needed 10 on here and then 10 on the other side. But you can totally do this with a wire guardian and just feed all of these, you know, through one side of a wire guarding and back down again. But I think this is going to be really pretty. So that's my plan, is to string up these 5 strands on these 5 strands of this wildfire. This is what I'm using. I have had this in my stash for probably a decade. I don't even know where I got it, but as I said, regular wildfire will, you know, will work for this project. So I have that. I also have these gorgeous diamond cut gold filled jump rings. I can link this below. I have used these in so many of my projects since I found them a couple months ago. They're so beautiful, and they have a really nice thickness to them, so they're really sturdy for clasps and for things like connecting. And then I have a flat crimp bead here that I will flat crimp with, I meant to say, and I have a 2x2 gold filled crimp tubes, and so I'm going to do a little bit of security once I get all of my strands. So I just wanted to introduce my project to you, tell you where I'm going. It's just going to be a second for you through the magic of editing. I'm going to cut all of these strands open and get them strung, and then I will come back and show you what they look like strung on that wildfire. Try that again. And I have been thinking about this project for days, and I'm really excited about starting it, and I really love the beads, so they make me very enthusiastic. So as I was saying, I'm going to get all the stringing done because it's very repetitive. Just get these on the 5 strands of wildfire, and I will be back through the magic of editing and show you how I plan to secure it and attach it to the chain. So just a second for you, and I will be right back. I just wanted to check in and show you what I decided to do, because there are a couple of different ways to approach this design. I did take out some of these really gorgeous 11-0 seed beads. They have the perma finish gold, so they will stay shiny like that. And what I have done on this end is to go ahead and put my seed beads through all 5 of my strands, loop it back down through a number 2 crimp bead. I'll show you on the other end, there's actually a dummy wire inside, and I used my magical crimping plier to get that tiny little bead. Then I fed everything through this bead cap, this end cap, and look how seamless and beautiful that is. So now I have my loop that I can attach my chain, my jump ring, anything that I want here. And then on the inside, I put one of these little crimp beads. I strung it over all 5 strands, and I just reached inside with my bent chain nose pliers and flat crimped it. And then when I string all 5 of my strands with my fire polish beads, they're going to cluster right here, and the whole thing will be really nice and secure, and I'll have all my beautiful beads here. So this is where I'm at in the stringing. I'm mixing those 2 strands with a gold bead in between. I'm just doing 3s. I like the odd number, and they're separated. The little color blocks are separated by a dot of gold, just a little punctuate the design with those gold beads. So I've already made a great start, and I am going to keep stringing and get these beads on all 5 strands, and I'll be back and we can finish off the other end together. All of my stringing is done, and yay, look how beautiful it is. So I just played with those strands and punctuated each of the bead patterns in each individual strand with those little spacer bead, or not spacer, seed beads, and I just love the way it looks, and I also love the fluidity. I think it's just beautiful. And so I have gathered up all 5 of my strands here, and I can remove this. What I did, and I know this is a really difficult camera angle for you, but what I did is just held it up like this so that I could see that I have my 5 different strands all ending pretty close to exactly the same spot. And what I'm going to do is just get rid of a little bit of this excess wildfire here. Just clip it, because the next step is to feed all 5 of my strands through this tiny little crimp bead, and this is just for a little bit of extra security. Let me see if I can do it in one pass. Okay, not too bad. So all 5 of my little strands are going through that crimp bead, and I'm just going to bring it down, and I know this is going to be a little bit difficult camera angle for you. I may even have to pull back. I want you to see what I'm doing, but I also want to make sure I don't make a mistake. This wasn't a terrible stringing project. I didn't really time myself, but I think I was stringing for about 20, maybe 25 minutes. And I don't know about you, but I just love stringing. It's so relaxing. So I'm just doing this, and I don't need to make it super tight, but I'm just going to back out of the camera here just for a moment. I really like to take my time. Here's what I'm looking at. Let me show you. I'm just letting gravity help me so that I can see that all of my strands have landed. And then I was trying to decide if I wanted to do like a little bit of braiding here, but I actually think that I am just going to let these drape as they will. And I'm going to grab my pliers and just simply flat crimp. Let me just do this out of the camera a little bit. So all I'm doing is putting my pliers on that crimp bead, and I'm just doing a flat crimp, and it's just for a little bit of extra security. And now I'm going to gather all of these again and put them through the bead cap. So I'm going to gather all of my 5 cords together and feed all 5 of them through this number 2 crimp tube. And I'm going to let that drop down to the top of my bead cap. And now I'm going to come in with a piece of 49 strand bead stringing wire. And this is just going to be a dummy wire. I'm going to feed that down through the crimp tube and just let it come out. I'm going to be trimming that away, but this is just simply to take up space inside that crimp tube so that when I turn this tube into a bead with the magical crimping plier, that I have a good secure crimp. And now I'm just going to let that hang out for a moment, because the next step is to repeat the seed bead loop on this end. So I'm just going to put, I only need to get 10 of these little seed beads. There are just 11-0 in a really pretty color, and I only need to get 10 of them on the wires. And I know some of you are saying she's crazy, but I did it on the other end, and it's not like I have to string several feet. I just have to get 10 of them on here, and that makes such a pretty seamless loop. And as I said, if you wanted to, I don't know if a big eye needle would go through an 11-0 seed bead, because I didn't try. I'm just doing it this way. If one of my threads comes out, then I just grab it and put it through, and I'm just going to get 10 on this end. Okay, that's my last 2. It wasn't too bad. And don't forget, as I mentioned earlier, if this looks crazy to you to string seed beads like this, you can always put all of these through a wire guardian over the little channel and back down and have that here. But I just thought that this little bead loop looked really, really pretty. And so now I'm going to gather these up for the last time and make a loop, and I'm going to go back down through that crimp tube and push them down so that they're coming out my bead cap so that I can see and get a hold of it. And so just go slowly, and you know, there is 5 of them, but like if you can see, 2 have popped out, but that's okay. I'm just going to individually push them through, and just take your time and don't be frustrated. There's a little kink in the thread. There it goes. Now I have all 5, and I don't want my crimp bead to go down inside my bead cap. Okay, now I can make that loop. Just pull, gently pull. Let me clean up my loop, and just pull, pull, pull. See, my dummy wire is right there. Pull that too. And let me just get a hold of this crimp bead, and that way I'll be able to get everything in position. The first end of a design like this is always so easy, and this side, you know, you have to make sure that you've taken all the slack out and that your piece is secure, which I believe I have it. Just going to pull it out so my magical crimping plier can get to that crimp tube. And so now you see that I have this dummy wire in here, and it's coming through. Move this so you can see. And now I'm going to come in with my magical crimping plier and fit it over the crimp tube with all 5 of those strands, plus with my dummy wire in there. right about there. Just gonna fit my tool over the crimp bead, and I will warn you to be careful if you're doing this seed bead method not to break your last seed bead. So if you can see, I just gently closed this plier to kind of push my seed beads out of the way, and now I can close it all the way, realizing that I don't have these in the jaw of the tool. And when I take it away, I've pinched the 4 corners of the crimp tube, and now I'm going to put the tool back in the opposite direction and close it again. And now just keep that tube in the middle of the plier and just go around and around, gently opening and closing to make a tiny little bead. And that's what I have. And so here I can come in now and just cut this dummy wire away, and I have a nice secure crimp. I can also trim away these little fibers, gather everything up, and try to like get my cutters inside the one more little guy. And my little necklace is looking great. When I hold it up, it's so pretty. And so just to let you know, like the magical crimping tool does make a very, very tiny little bead. And if you have a situation where it seems too small to you, or it's slipping down into a hole, which I don't even mind, because to me this is so seamless how it transitions into the loop. But you can take a normal crimp cover and put it on top of that bead if you feel like this is too small of a finished bead for you. But my beautiful like focal on my necklace is pretty much done, and the rest of this is simple connecting. So what I have chosen here is a really beautiful square pave magnetic clasp that I picked up at a bead show, but these do have to have an anti-tarnish coating. I also have some jump rings that I made out of 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to choose a couple for attaching this to chain. And I think I have settled on this chain from Purity Beads. I also bought this at a bead show, but it may still be available on their website. This is the most beautiful gold chain that has like a little twist design, and it has it's solid brass. It has the gold plating and then an e-coating so that it's anti-tarnish. And I think, let me set this out of the way. This is all that I had left of those strands once I made all of my 5 strands for the necklace. And then I have one link here, and then I think I'm going to attach this right to my necklace like that and attach it with these jump rings. But before I do that, I want to take a little dish and my anti-tarnish coating. I love this Permalac clear protective coating. It is amazing for keeping things from tarnishing, and with a magnetic clasp, as you can see, you can use your pliers to very easily hold on to things. And this is super simple. I do this on every single piece that I make. I don't always do it on camera, but when I stop filming, or if I'm not filming, I take the time to brush this onto all of the base metal or plated metal or anything that may tarnish. Get my other pliers, and I just do it on everything, and it dries very quickly, so I can, you know, go back and do the parts like where my pliers were touching it. And the cool thing about this is, if you've noticed, I am brushing this right over the crystals, the pave in this clasp, and it does not cloud them. This is a really nice product. It's very thin, and I really, really like it. I can link this below because I love these clasps. I bought these at a bead show and I used one on a necklace without doing this, and within a week, and it had been touching the back of my neck, it was already darkening and it looked terrible. And so now I just do this on everything. Okay, I'm just going to let that hang out and dry for a second while I do this part of my necklace. And I'm going to just pull out of the camera really quickly just to see if I want to use this whole length, and I do. That is the perfect length for my necklace. So let me steal my pliers back again. I love magnetic clasps once you get your pliers out of the picture, but until then they're a little bit of a pain. Okay, I am going to, I have these gold-filled jump rings that are diamond cut, and that's what I want to use as my attachment, and I'm going to do it this way. These are a very heavy gauge of a jump ring, and they are so perfectly round and so perfectly closed, and with the diamond cutting, I have a hard time when I go to open them figuring out where that opening is. They are just really nice jump rings, and I've used them so much since I found them. They are an Amazon find, and I can also link these below. They're really pretty. They added, you know, a decorative element to a design, but they're also really sturdy. And I have even used these as the closure, so like a lobster claw clasp can grab into that. But can you see? It's so seamless the way that they close. It's just a really, really nice jump ring. Do the same thing to the other side. And I think I'll just pause here for a minute for newer people, because I think we always skip over this. If you are new to jewelry making and you need to open a jump ring, you never pull this way, because you will lose the shape, the circle, and you will never get it back together again. So you grab each side of the jump ring with a plier and you do a twisting motion. So one side of the jump ring going in one way and one side going toward you. So twist, you know, in opposite directions, and that is how you open your jump ring. And then you attach what you need to attach, and then you do the same thing, twist it back, and it's very easy to close it that way. You can like rock it back and forth if you need to. Like these are really, I need to do a bit more. If you need to, you can put your pliers inside and do it that way. But that way you keep your perfect shape of your jump ring and you don't struggle to open and close it. So this is so beautiful, you guys. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this piece. I'm so excited to wear it. So I'm just gonna pull back a little bit and get my center of my necklace to make a cut for my clasp. This link right here has to get cut. And what I've been doing when I have a solid chain, when the links are solid and there is no way to open them and I have to cut them so that I don't lose a link, I've been doing an angled cut. These are oval, so right here on the side and snipping it there, and then I have another jump ring that I can use. Just do that twisting motion and just remove it. And now I save this as a jump ring to open it a little bit more maybe. So now I have a beautiful decorative oval jump ring, and I didn't lose a link. And I don't know if you can see, but this is a solid brass chain. I just love this. These are high quality chains, and I am the first YouTuber to introduce purity beads to the YouTube community, and I do have a discount code and a link, so I can put that in the description box. And then let's see how we're doing over here. So just in that few moments, this Permalac coating is dry, at least dry to the touch. And can you see, I brushed it over everything and it does not turn my crystals cloudy. I don't know, it's still very sparkly. I just absolutely love that product. I have ordered a couple of others from Amazon and they just didn't work as well. Let's see if I have one here. This is one that I ordered, Eternal Jewelry Coating that I ordered from Amazon. And this takes forever to dry. It is very nice and thin like that, but I feel like the Permalac is so much better. So I have tried a few anti-tarnish coatings and now I have a favorite. So I will link that in the description box in case you would like to try that. If you are giving your jewelry away or if you sell your jewelry, giving it extra quality, extra longevity in your listings to be able to say that it has an anti-tarnish coating. I mean, that's, you know, one of the problems with fashion jewelry is it tarnishes after a few wears, but, you know, it just adds quality to what you're making when you take care of that problem. And, you know, I love my magnetic clasps after the pliers are out of the way. It's a little challenging sometimes to get your pliers in there because it grabs the pliers, but it's so easy after you get it attached. Okay, this stunning, amazing necklace is done. I have my magnetic clasp attached, and I just have to tell you, this month's dollar bead box and bead bag were just a stunning color palette, and I just felt like it was so beautiful keeping them all together. It's so just, they were very serene, very calm, very beautiful colors together. And I am a gold girl, so I love having dotted my pattern play with the little gold beads, and I am just super excited about having this necklace. This is one that I will not give away. I will be keeping this one for myself. I really love it, and it's not heavy, but it does make a beautiful statement, and I just think it is so elegant and so classy. I just really love it. So I will take some pictures on my mannequin and put those up at the end of the video. And I will also put links to everything that I know where I got it. The Purity Beads items, that's this and the chain, the Dollar Bead Club, the Permalac coating, all my tools. I always take a lot of time to create my description boxes for your convenience. Those links are there and clickable, and so if you are interested in anything for your own work, I share that. It's not a mystery to you, and if you use the links, it helps my channel, it supports my work, but it does not cost you anything at all. So it's a really lovely way. It's a win-win, and I thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, and tapping the bell notification, and I hope everyone's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, jewelry making friends.